Every week for the last 9 months, I've done this drive. I've got up at 5:30 a.m, done the 2.5 hour drive to work, spent 2 to 3 nights away from my family. But this week, this drive is the last time I'll do it. I took this job just after my son was born. It was the right move at the time. Minimal travel, good pay, and some flexibility to work from home. This isn't a bad life. Many men have chosen this life. Many women choose to live this life. In fact, this was the life that my dad lived for much of my childhood, and he provided us with an excellent childhood. But it does start to leave a toll. Invisible at first, but I could see it manifesting in my children. It was costing me precious time that I wasn't prepared to give away anymore. About a year ago, something bad happened to us, ultimately resulting in the sale of our family home. It was hard, but it made us stop and ask what really matters now. And to us, that was buying back some time. So we moved out of the city, near the ocean. We wanted time, and for a while we had it. Then the nature of my job changed. Remote work was no longer an option. And just like that, I was commuting 2.5 hours every week. Back to a life I feel like we'd already left behind.
So by way of introduction, my name's Liam. It's probably fair to say that I started my professional journey as an athlete. I spent the better part of my 20s chasing a professional rugby contract, and I had an awesome time doing it. Around 28, I started battling injuries, the game became less fun, so I made a shift into coaching and into sports administration. I don't know that I've actually ever said this out loud, but I feel like I was a good coach. I did a lot of good. I achieved a fair bit in a pretty short amount of time. But the reason I left coaching, at least the story I tell people, is that I had a kid and I wanted to be closer to home. I didn't want to travel a lot. I didn't want to work late nights. I didn't want to work early mornings anymore. And that's true. That is absolutely true. But the reality is that even though I was a good coach, it made me really miserable. And that was really hard because I felt like I had a purpose, but for some reason it just made me miserable. So once I realized that, I made a move into the corporate world and became a consultant, which is a cool world. It's interesting. You do lots of different kinds of work. You wear different hats. You learn new skills. But it was taking time away from my family. So in about a week, I'm going to take over a regional bank, and I'm hoping that's the last job that I ever have.
Finally, the last commute. The last drive home. The last week I'll be living between two places. I'm not quitting work completely. I'm just choosing something else. Something slower, something closer, something more intentional. Something that fits the life we want to build for our young family.
So I hope I've been able to keep you for this long, and if I have, truly thank you. This is the last job. A vlog, a creative outlet, a weekly brain dump. They won't all look like this, but I wanted to tell my story. The story of how I decided to stop trying to climb the corporate ladder, to stop convincing myself that I was doing all of this for my family, to document my shift towards a more intentional life. I think ultimately this will be a story about what we give up if we lose sight of what's important to us, and if we're not careful and intentional about where we put our time. So if you've ever felt like your life might be somewhere else, if you feel like you're living across two places, if you feel like you're living two lives, then maybe this vlog is for you. I hope to see you next week.